And we will look back at those goals, and we'll have all the reaction very shortly at Anfield. I just wonder, though, Michael, just going back to your point of last season and the defeats and no crowd, has Anfield got that real, genuine fear factor right back now?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Just listen to ex-players, listen to current players. You know, nobody takes anything from Anfield, or very few. Of course, that run last season it's almost been swept under the carpet because there were so many excuses, as we said. No fans. They were out the title race, really, at the time, and they had some big players out, and it was just a strange little period. But, you know, we've seen for so many years now. It's not just a flash in the pan. We've seen for so many years, going back to the great Champions League run. I mean, that game against Barcelona when they're 3-0 down, 1-4-0, etc., etc. There's so many examples. When Anfield is rocking, when it's a big game, when Arsenal come to town, it's so difficult. As I say, I use the word, they're almost unbeatable at Anfield. They're that good. They're on the right at the top of the game at the moment.
Big statement from Michael. Would you go along with it?
Well, the fact speaks for itself as well. So, you know, they're a formidable side. They've built it up. You know, Klopp's built a fantastic team, and he's built a fortress there, and everyone believes that they're always going to win there. And you've got the crowd, which are fantastic. You've got the crowd, and you've got a great team, and you've got the belief. You know, it's always difficult. When I used to play there, it was I've won a few times there, but it's always a hard game. You know, you really got to play out your skin to kind of get a result at Anfield anyway. But now, you know, they're a top side, and I can't see anyone beating them at home. You know, if they keep on going like this, they'll always find a way. Always find a way.
And that squad again, no Robertson today, no Henderson, no Firmino. As you say, that group of 14 or 15 is so strong.
That's it, though, isn't it? I wouldn't like to see many more injuries to that squad.
We looked at the bench.
We looked at the bench, and it's great to see one or two of the kids. Tyler Morton getting on at the end. He's a nice player, midfielder. Nice to see some of these players getting a game. But if they're going to go right deep in the tournament in the Champions League, of course, go all the way in the league and things like that, then you wouldn't want to be getting too many more injuries, because they've had a few today, and their squad all of a sudden looks a little bit bare. The starting 11 looks exceptional. Always is, but I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will be wanting to get a few of his players back in the not-too-distant future.
OK, I think we can go to Anfield and talk to the man who captained Liverpool today. Virgil van Dijk is waiting to speak to us live from Anfield. Good to see you, Virgil. Well, when we spoke in the week, you said you wanted a response. That was an emphatic response, wasn't it?
Good performance, yeah. Obviously, totally deserved the win. You know, it was an intense game for both sides, in my opinion. All what we expected, because if you want to try and get them in difficult situations, that you have to press, you have to win the ball up high, because they take a lot of risk with the ball. Could have been more, in my opinion. The goalie had a couple good saves as well. So, but yeah, overall, you know, we showed what a good side we are and can be as well.
And the amount of chances you created, as you say, particularly in that second half where you really did turn the screw.
Yeah, you know, obviously, what I said, you have to be brave on the ball as well as with pressing up high, because then obviously you exploit their weaknesses in my point of view, space in between the lines, and obviously they were aware of my trying to be direct in behind, because they were good organised, so we had to find the space between for the midfielders in this case, and Thiago did well, Ox fantastic. It was nice to see Tyler coming on, and overall it was a perfect evening.
Virgil, congratulations on a perfect week, really, for both national team and club. I was just wondering, you talk about the different things you could hurt Arsenal with today. What type of things did you prepare for playing against Aubameyang? What sort of prowess does he pose?
Well, he's rapid. So if you go direct, if they go direct, I mean, you know, you have to be aware for the space in behind, and but you know, it's a fine line between dropping and pushing up, because if there's no pressure, I think, on the ball, you know, you have to drop a little bit. But if there's pressure on the ball, you can be high. And I think a couple of moments as well, we played a high line and kept them offside. So, you know, it's you have to find the fine line in this case, and we did that very well today. Obviously, he created, well, you had maybe one chance, or if I'm honest, but yeah, he didn't score, so all good.
Virgil, it's Sol Campbell here. What's it feel like being back in sync with your body and mind? There's a couple of balls down the line and you got there and you cleared it away. It's always nice for me as the defender. You know, you've been out and you come back, you feel, you know, you're back to your best. It's great. It's a great feeling, isn't it?
It's a great feeling to be out there with the boys. Yeah, of course. I feel like I improve day by day, and you know, if I'm absolutely honest, I don't think it's going too bad after just a year out. After being a year out, with the amount of games I've played so far, but it's all something I enjoy. I want to be out here. I want to play games. I want to compete. I want to get better, and you know, I'm just happy that the boss has the trust in me, and obviously there's a lot of spotlights pointing in my direction, and if I have a good game, then you know, it's everything like, oh yeah, he's never been away, and then when I have a couple mistakes, then it's like, oh yeah, he can't do it anymore. So it's part of the comeback, but the only thing I'm focusing on is to progress with the team and do better and do as good as I can.
And Virgil, just as I was saying to Michael there, the squad again, the backbone we've seen today, no Milner, no Henderson, no Firmino, Andy Robertson didn't play. It doesn't affect you. Whoever comes in knows their role, knows the shape of the team.
Well, everyone knows their role. Everyone has a responsibility in this team. Everyone feels that responsibility as well, whether you play or you come on. And that's the big credit to the manager. But obviously, it's part of this club as well. You know, everyone is. The least you can do is give everything for in every aspect in the game, and everyone knows it. And like I said as well, like, you know, obviously what you said, Henderson didn't play. Come on, obviously he did fantastic in my opinion. But Milner is not there. We miss a couple of players, but the others are doing, in my opinion, very well. And it's good that we showed the reaction after defeat in London.
And just finally, Virgil, you've got a remarkable personal record going today. I'm not sure if you know this. 53 Premier League games at Anfield since you signed for Liverpool. Do you know how many you've lost?
No.
None.
Well, listen, I think you told me a couple days ago.
I might have told you on Thursday, but you acted very well there, yeah.
Well, listen, you know, it's not about me. In this case, you know, we try to win every game ahead of us, and you know, win at Anfield for the opponent is not easy, because we have the fans with us, we have the intensity that, you know, we love to bring, but it has to be also in the away games. And unfortunately, it didn't happen last time, but we want to keep it going and make sure that it happens in every game.
Listen, very well done again today. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
You're very welcome, guys. All the best, yeah?
Thanks, Virgil.
See you.
Virgil van Dijk, the Liverpool captain today, live from Anfield. So let's go back to those goals. The first half, Sadio Mane's was the difference at half-time. We talked about the delivery, and then Sol, obviously, we'll talk about it from an Arsenal point of view as well.
You know, it's a great delivery, Trent, beautiful. But that space, you got to, you know, you pick your line, high line, but he's got the ability to put it in that gap. You've got to drop. Slightly, you know, I think, when I look at the goal again, Ramsdale could have done a bit better. Maybe the bounce kind of deceived him a little bit, but, you know, in the form he's in, I was thinking he could have, you know, maybe tipped around the post.
Yeah, and Sol mentioned the bounce there, Steve. That's textbook heading. You know, head it back from where it came from and head it down into the floor. Give the goalkeeper a problem. You know, you're always taught that as a kid. And the majority of the time, the ball comes in and you head it back where it comes from, down into the ground, opposite to what a defender would do.
8 goals Sadio Mane's got in his career against Arsenal. Only Crystal Palace he scored more against. Now, talking of scoring against Arsenal, right on cue, back to Anfield. Robbie Fowler, God is with us. You got a few against Arsenal in your time?
I tried, fellas, I tried. I've got a good record against Arsenal, actually.
Yeah, and that hat-trick's good memories for you at Anfield, isn't it, this fixture?
Hat-tricks, Steve.
I was talking about the first one, Bob.
Oh, OK. So I thought you meant the second one.
We're playing.
Sol doubts that it was against him, though, Rob.
It doesn't count then, Sol.
How impressed were you with Liverpool today?
Yeah, I thought second half, I thought they were brilliant, and I thought they had their old swagger back, in all fairness. I know, I mean, they've lost one game this year, and all of a sudden people start writing them off, saying, no, they're not this, they're not that. First half, I thought Arsenal played OK in terms of making it difficult for Liverpool. We knew what they were going to come here and do. They were going to make it, you know, try and solidify their defence, you know, make it, you know, frustrating for Liverpool, frustrate the fans, and get Anfield as quiet as he can. Obviously, that goal, you know, totally changed the game. Arsenal needed to come out a little bit more, and he never. And second half, Liverpool were just breathtaking. They really were.
I'm interested in your opinion about Jota's finish in front of the Kop, Robbie.
I mean, any goal's brilliant, but I think he had the nous just to take his time, have a little bit of patience, wait for the defender to sort of slide in, and then have the audacity to sort of wait for the keeper to move. I thought it was a brilliant finish. Obviously, you know, it was also a defensive mistake, we know that, but he's still got a lot of work to do, and he's done it immensely well.
Robbie, you know, when a goal goes in like this, of course, most people get excited when they get in these positions. You've obviously been in that position hundreds of times. What is the difference, do you think, between a goal scorer and someone that's rarely in that position? I mean, to have the calmness to do that, which you obviously had, is I thought it was just a wonderful goal.
Well, Michael, you know yourself, and obviously Sol, you obviously train every single day, and you just prepare for things. So as a forward, you're doing them things all the time, and this is what sort of irritates me at times. I mean, I was called, you know, naturally, you know, gifted goal scorer, but I worked on my game, and you do the monotony of doing it over and over again. And it becomes natural, and it becomes like a second nature, if you like. But obviously when players aren't doing it, or players don't do finishing on the training ground, or they don't do them drills, maybe they snatch at it, or they just want to get that shot away quick, thinking that's maybe the best, the best effort. Sometimes it is get your shot away early, but then also having the patience and the guile and the craft, if you like, to stick it in the back of the net it really is a gift.
OK, Robbie, just hold on there. We'll back to the three of you very shortly after we've got the views of the Liverpool manager, Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen, you talked before the game about the opportunity that this game today presented. How well do you feel you took it?
That's funny, you mentioned opportunity. Really cool. Yeah, of course, all the games are opportunities for us, and it was an exceptional performance, I have to say. We grew into the game. We got better and better and better, and controlled the game then in a really good way, and played then really some exciting stuff in the right moments. So it was a mix of a very mature performance and a very exciting performance. And so the result is the result. I think it's not important if you score 3 or 4 in games like this. It's just important that you keep the opponent as far away from your own goal as possible, control the game there, and then be really ruthless in a decisive area. That's what we were, and that's why we won.
That extra bit of aggression, that extra bit of intensity that you were looking for beforehand, how well did you feel that paid off in the end?
Yeah, that was very important, and it paid off. That's what we need. That's what we need. This league is incredibly intense, and now the most intense part of the season is ahead of us. December, January is absolutely insane what the boys have to do there. We have problems with the squad, obviously. We have injuries. Hopefully some coming back. Today, Diogo got a real knock, and hopefully it's nothing serious. But the boys who played today did really well, and they did exactly what we had to do. We all know how good Arsenal can be, but we didn't let it happen today, and that's the biggest compliment I can make for my team, and that's why I'm obviously really pleased.
The win and the way you won today, given recent results, how pivotal a 90 minutes does it feel just at the moment?
Yeah, I told the boys after the game, that doesn't help now for the next 4 weeks, but it helps for the moment, because it feels great, because it was really, really, really good, and that's what we have to feel. We should never take things like this for granted. Nobody in and around the team should take something like this for granted, because it is not possible. You have to fight through different phases in a game and in a season, and that's what we do. So now we are where we are. We obviously improved our basis. And that's another point from where we go on.
A yellow card for both managers in the first half, Jurgen. What was that all about?
Oh, it was about the situation was that it was absolutely no foul from Sadio, but the Arsenal bench went up like it was nearly a red card or whatever, and I asked constantly, what do you want? What do you want in that situation? And because I really cannot get that anymore. We had to take Sadio off against Atletico Madrid because Atletico went only for that and wanted to get him a yellow card, and then that I have to take him off and all these kind of things. And that's just not okay. I have to say, I ref did really well in that situation. And I deserved the yellow card, it's no problem at all. But it was really about that thing. If there's a harsh challenge before, we all are like this. There was nothing. He didn't even touch him. It was just 2 players going in the air and then they jump, and that was not okay, and that's what I said.
How fair is it to say, looking back, that that moment in itself actually had an impact on the game? It raised the temperature of the game, galvanised the crowd somewhat.
Well, I don't know. I have to watch it back if that was the case. Should do it more often. That is, of course, not possible. So you can't act like this. It just happened in a moment. But yes, we needed a crowd, obviously. And how I said, we grew into the game. It was not always like a super game. It was just a controlled game. We have to find a way to break them down. They are full of confidence. They're waiting for counterattacks. They're incredibly good at set pieces. So we are 1-0 up. That means nothing for this game, actually. And the problem was we were 1-0 up, and all of a sudden the best phase of Arsenal is before half time, and that's obviously something we have to avoid. That is like a deep breath of relief, kind of, and then the opponent all of a sudden plays in areas where we should not let them play. But we found a way back in the game, and then really the boys played it. It was a super performance all over.
Some great goals to enjoy in that second half in particular, wasn't it? But a special mention, Trent Alexander-Arnold, 2 assists today. That's 9 in his last 6 matches for club and country.
He's a good player, and yes, the second one was then probably when we won the ball back. The counter press was insane, I have to say. Win the ball back there, first or second pass forward, bam, Trent is there, and then it's for him with his foot, it's pretty much a no-brainer. You just need a target player, and then Taki is there, which is absolutely great, and finish that situation off. So. More to Sadio to more, all these kind of things. So it was all in this game, and I really like that. Obviously, Diogo with an incredible goal. After we put them under pressure, they have to play a not so good pass. We can get that ball, and from there we go. And all the goals were all great and all important, and so good for our supporters. They had something to enjoy, obviously.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Yeah, Robbie, interesting to hear Jurgen Klopp talking about that little spat with Mikel Arteta, because that was at 0-0, and I guess you were there. It did really ignite the crowd.
Yeah, it did. And to be fair, I mean, I totally agree with what Jurgen's saying there. I think it was uncalled for with Arteta. I actually done it.